Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning Black in once again to Authentic Black Goddess TV. And also, those of you tuned in to the Queen Amadai Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Amadai Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So everyone, please go ahead and feel free to subscribe to the channels. If you haven't done so, be sure you click the notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Don't forget you can follow me on Instagram at Queen Amadai Shakur. Also on Instagram at divine_goddess_27. Twitter at dgoddess27. Brighton and Patreon at Queen Amadai Shakur. So let's get black into it. I want to thank you all for returning right back to the chat. Let me say something. Now, when I saw this story, and Diddy's trying to go in on GM, I said, what did they do to tick him off? Because we all know that Diddy works at the sole behest of the wannabe, would-be, if they could be, white supremacists, right? We already know this. Clearly, he's a gatekeeper, right? So I'm just curious as to why he's going in on them. Really? Let's talk about it. Okay? Let's talk about it. Diddy goes to war. They didn't say he goes to war, did they? Oh, he's in full-on combat mode? Oh, okay. Please, right? Diddy goes to war against General Motors. If you love us, pay us, he says. Now, rapper and business mogul and near billionaire Diddy has just about had it with General Motors and the rest of corporate America. So he's calling all of them out in an angry open letter titled, "If You Love Us, Pay Us." Diddy, what are you up to? I'm asking myself. Posted to the Revolt blog, the letter argues that a big chunk of revenue of corporate America comes from the Black community. Yet when it comes to advertising within the same community, Black-owned businesses, less than 1% of these companies' advertising budget goes there. Only 1%. Oversimplifying, Diddy says that these companies are profiting off the Black community, but hardly spending anything there. Diddy, tell us something we don't know. I talk about this all the time, right? This is nothing new. Don't I often tell you all how the Asian community, they make all of their money off the backs of Black people who patronize their establishments, but yes, and they come to our neighborhoods and set up shops, but yet they give nothing back to the community. They won't even so much as donate $1 to your child's fundraiser for school or for any sports that they're affiliated with. So anyway, he says he specifically calls out General Motors, saying GM listed his TV network, Revolt, as an example of Black-owned company it supports through advertising. GM didn't technically lie, but it wasn't telling the truth either. He says, while Revolt does receive advertising revenue from GM, our relationship is not an example of success. Instead, Revolt, just like other Black-owned media companies, fights for crumbs while GM makes billions of dollars every year from the Black community. Exposing GM's historic refusal to fairly invest in Black-owned media is not an assassination of character. It's exposing the way GM and many other advertisers have always treated us, Diddy argues. He says GM, like the rest of corporate America, has been exploiting the Black community through behavior of this type. General Motors, for one, spent $3 billion in advertising last year and only $10 million for that money that was invested in a Black-owned company. Now, unless a change comes about, and soon, Diddy says, the Black community must weaponize their dollars, the mighty Black dollar, and no longer support GM and like-minded companies. GM did not respond to calls for comments. Meanwhile, reactions from within the community are probably not what Diddy was counting on, since his reputation of underpaying Black artists signed to his label is brought up quite a lot. Corporate America is Diddy. Corporate America is Diddy, critics are saying. Let me tell you something. Absolutely. Now, he has a whole lot of nerve. Now, I'm not saying what he said about them isn't true, But at the end of the day, he's not saying this for Black people as a collective. He's clearly saying this for himself. You see, he says they don't pay him enough for the advertisement, right? He doesn't get enough revenue. They make all these beans and just drop off a few million. So with that all being said, this is his own axe to grind. He's clearly talking about himself, but he's trying to make it as though he's talking and speaking up for all Black people collectively. No, Diddy, I knew you had an ulterior motive. Please sit your little funny looking self down, okay? Please sit it on down somewhere. All right, honeycombs, please do that. Let me tell you something. After all the money that he has stolen from numerous artists on his label. Yeah, what about the money he took from Mace? Yeah. What about Biggie Smalls, who literally made Bad Boy what it was, right? Now, in fact, you remember, because some of you probably don't even remember this, but remember when Biggie Smalls died? And then Diddy said he was going to give his family like $3 million. Why do you think he had to give his family $3 million? Because Biggie didn't really have any money. Why didn't Biggie have any money? I'm glad you asked. Because Diddy took it all. In fact, do you know what Biggie used to have to do? You see, Biggie would go to a show, but before he would perform, he would wait like 15 minutes before the show was actually going to start. And then he would show up. And he would have to make Diddy give him his money, okay? He wouldn't go on the stage until he got what he was owed. So this is the kind of thing that Diddy has always done. He should not talk about corporate America because, like they say, he is corporate America. He doesn't work at the sole behest of Black people. He doesn't do anything good and substantial and beneficial for Black people. He uses Black people. What happened to Loon? Didn't he take all Loon's money? What about 112? Yeah. Right? So I'm just saying, what about 8 Ball and MGK? Right? Now, I remember, if memory serves me correct, and I'm sure it does, I remember when they signed to him, we scarcely heard anything else from them ever again. What about Total? I could go on and on, honey. I could go on and literally on, right? Diddy needs to sit down somewhere and shut the hell up talking about how somebody's taking money from the Black community, because he has taken as much as he possibly could from every artist that he ever signed. Every artist that he ever signed. And where are they all now? Where are they now? Now, he's rich, and they say almost a billionaire. Yes, he is almost a billionaire. And where did he get a large majority of that money from? He got that from Black people that he stiffed, that he screwed, that he picked over, right? That's what he did. So he can't say anything. As far as I'm concerned, he's just as bad as the white man. And in fact, that's who trained him. Did you all know that? Yes. He had a whole bunch of white handlers, right, telling him what all to do. Okay? This is true. Also, folks dying around Punk Diddy. The Diddy curse. Okay? Diddy is a devil. He sold his soul decades ago. I absolutely agree. Sexual harassment claims, 5432. Diddy owes us reparations, says Christopher. Lil' Kim and Biggie made Puffy. Absolutely they did. Absolutely. So with that all being said, he's scarcely the one to be talking. He really is. I mean, did he think Black people were going to jump on his bandwagon? You know, let me tell y'all something. Diddy is always trying to stay relevant, always trying to keep his name out there, and always trying to talk Black, but act white. That's what he does. That's what I call people like him. Somebody who talks Black, but acts white. Right? This is what he does. And for those of you who bought my ebook, Catchphrases That Make It Make Sense, you know I have an example in there of someone just like Diddy. Okay? Someone just like him. So with that all being said, he can miss us with it, honey, because he's clearly not in the habit, nor has he ever been, of treating Black people fairly and giving them what they in fact owed. He says, and this is what he tweeted, he says, we're done letting corporations manipulate our culture into believing incremental progress is an acceptable action. If you love us, pay us. Here is my letter to corporate America. Oh, honeycombs, please have several seats. All right? And then listen, he says, if you are neutral in situations of injustice, you have chosen the side of the oppressor. That's what Desmond Tutu said. He posted this. So I guess he's trying to echo those same sentiments. Pay attention. Now, the same feet these companies use to stand on. Listen to this. This is good, people. This is really good. The same feet these companies use to stand with us in solidarity are the same feet they use to stand on our necks. When confronted by the leaders of several Black-owned media companies, General Motors listed my network, Revolt, as an example of Black-owned media it supports. He says it's disrespectful that Black-owned media companies only represent 1% of the total advertising market. It's disrespectful that distributors refuse to carry Black-owned media brands in an era where our impact and influence is undeniable. It's disrespectful that the same community that represents 14% of the population and spends over $1 trillion annually in revenue is still the most economically undervalued and underserved at every level. To repeat, 1.4 trillion annually, the almighty black dollar. We demand that corporate America reinvest an equitable percentage of what you take from our community back into our community. If the Black community represents 15% of your revenue, Black-owned media should receive at least 15% of the advertising that you spend. The same way you understand the power of our dollars, we understand our power to take them away from any corporation that doesn't give us the economic inclusion we deserve. We are prepared to weaponize our dollars. Is that why they said he was going to war? If you love us, pay us, not a token investment, not a charity check or donation. The time is now. Radical change is the only option. You're either with us or you are on the other side. Well, he certainly told them, did he not? Now, what he needs to do is take a page out of his own handbook and read it to himself. No less, okay? Practice what you preach, Diddy, and then maybe I can agree with you. He's disrespectful to his artists, so pay up or shut up. Absolutely, says Melanated Brown. Absolutely. He is trying to hop on the bandwagon with Roly-Poly Martin, says Terry. You mean Swollen Martin? Don't fall for his disingenuous satanic ass, says In Life One Kingdom. Right, this is all a facade. Listen, like I told you all, as soon as I saw this, I said, hold up, what is he up to? He's clearly got some type of agenda. Well, he seems to be upset because they're not paying him what he thinks that he should get for the advertisement. Okay, please. So no, I'm not falling for that. He doesn't need to be trying to speak for us. Okay? Wasn't he foaming at the mouth over that Kardashian girl a few months back? Yes, of course he was. This is what he always does. He was even foaming at the mouth over a white man. Do you all not remember? He told that white guy, remember when he was having, the pandemic concerts, and he was playing music and having all the live thing on Instagram, and he was hugging and kissing on that white man and told him, oh, you sure are a handsome man. He had to make sure he got those butter biscuits that day, right? So anyway, Jesus is Black. Christ said both those ebooks are fire. Thank you, beloved. I'm glad you enjoyed them. Thank you. So he needs, right, clearly he ain't doing what he's saying. So absolutely, he's not. All right, we already know who Diddy is and what he is. So he cannot fool us any longer. And he loves, like I said, he loves to try to talk Black and then work at the behest, the sole behest, that is, of wannabe, would-be, if they could be, white supremacy. He's not out here doing anything for Black people. Do you all remember when he had that state of emergency? You remember that, right? That state of emergency, so-called, for Black folks. He didn't have any solutions. Like, what are you on here for? To clout chase? That's all it was for me. It was just an attempt to clout chase. Because he's sitting up here having all these talks and all these people coming on here, and they all talking about the problems that we all have, but nobody's offering any solutions. I'll tell you what the solution is. I'm glad you asked. I told you all numerous of times. The solution is to stop spending our money with these devils who do not like us, who in fact despise us. Okay? Who accuse us of every heinous act and atrocity that they can. They make us the scapegoats. Now we're the ones committing hate crimes. I mean, all these things that they do, and people still patronize them. I don't understand why you would, Black people. Please, I implore you to wake up. Okay? Please wake up before it's too late, lest you die in your sleep. That's the solution. Stop celebrating and participating and spending money on their bogus BS pagan satanic holiday rituals. That's all it is. Stop celebrating that stuff. Stop giving them your money and buying these name brands that are clearly meant to keep you enslaved. It's called vanity slaves. That's what you're making yourselves. Name brands, branding you with their names. Name brands. Why do you think they call it that? Like they branded our ancestors in slavery. It's the same thing. Now they've taken the yokes of iron from around your neck and put gold chains on your neck, right? To further enslave you. God, black people out here doing the absolute most. How is it that we, in fact, the poorest community, but have the most money to spend on BS? Trillions of dollars a year. If we put that same money into our own community, we could have some accomplishments. But many Negroes continue to give their money to the oppressors and continue to want to have a seat at the table of the would-be, wannabe white supremacists for those buttered biscuits. When will you learn? You don't need to be begging for biscuits when you can have the entire loaf. Okay? Please. So that's the thing that we need to be focusing on. And then they have these people like Diddy, clearly a gatekeeper, right? Clearly a member of the Black Boule, in my opinion. So we need not listen to him. We need not get sidetracked by his things that he's saying as if he's trying to help black people. He's not trying to help black people. Y'all know what? Let me tell y'all something. Do y'all remember when he tried to hijack the black media? Do y'all remember that? When he had that little state of emergency thing and he said that they were the black media? What now? Say who? The black who? Honey, you hardly the black media. But he tried to snatch us up, right? He tried to take over the black media, said that they were the black media now. Y'all remember that? You know, that was clearly part of a nefarious agenda. I don't care what anybody says. I think he was put up to it, and he had that whole state of emergency thing because he was trying to take over, trying to infiltrate and snatch up the new black media so that people would stop listening to the real voices who are out here telling the truth, who are out here offering solutions, and start listening to fools like him who are only self-serving and have nothing good and promising and beneficial for foundational black Americans, no less. Okay? So anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast because clearly Diddy Honeycombs, yeah, he's worked my last nerves. Thank you, Iyama, babe, beloved. So with that all being said, let me put this link to this channel, right? I almost forgot. Let me put the link to this channel in here. Okay, here we go. And like I told you guys, I just made this channel yesterday. So please make sure you hurry on over and subscribe. Hold on. And so also, people, listen. Hold on, let me read these comments. Diddy probably never did a protest in his life. I can't recall ever seeing him do one. Hashtag Queen Adia says hashtag support black business, hashtag shop black, hashtag buy black, hashtag bank black. Absolutely. Like his artists and how many others careers. Absolutely. How many careers has he sabotaged and ruined, right? And left them broke and penniless. I'm just saying, it's all so crazy. All so crazy, people. But anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I would like to thank you all for tuning back in once again. Now, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Queen Amadai Shakur. And also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at divine_goddess_27. On Twitter at DGoddess27. And on Brighton and Patreon at Queen Amadai Shakur. So until next time, Royals, I will talk to you all again soon. Don't forget to tune Black in at 6 p.m. for your daily vitamin. All right? And until next time, I hope to see you all Black in the chats. Peace.